The views and opinions expressed do not necessarily represent those of Access Fort Wayne, the Allen County Public Library, or any other supporting group. Access Fort Wayne is a department of the Allen County Public Library. If you or anyone you know might be interested in making a television show, please call 260-421-1250.
Hi, welcome to Mind, Body, Spirit show. You're going to find this to be very interesting. It's about processed food. And what is processed food? And I'll read the definition to you. And processed food is any food or drink that has been changed in some way when it's made or prepared. This includes foods that have been cooked, canned, frozen, packed, or nutritionally altered by frying, preserving, or preparing it in different ways. I just wanted you to know the definition of it. What I'll be speaking about is information that I already knew, read in many other books, but also that is in this book, which I encourage you to read, Metabolical, The Truth About Processed Food and How It Poisons People and the Planet. Yes, by Dr. Robert Lustig. He's very famous, very experienced, and you probably have heard of him before. But incidentally, if you want to read this book, you can go to the library and get it, or you can go to Amazon Books. And let me tell you a little secret that you can buy a book for a certain price, but you can buy a used copy, which generally 90% of the time looks like a brand new copy. I do that all the time, and it's much less, $3 or $4. So I encourage you to get that. So let's get on the road of processed food because it's very important. Processed food, the science. That's what we'll be speaking about today. Today's show is about processed food and how it makes people sick, and it involves the whole world. It's sold all over the world, okay? In the world, the U.S. is number one in morbidity, mortality, and expense. Yes, U.S., yes. The U.S. has the best doctors, hospitals, and medical technologies. It's the most innovative in surgeries, the best and newest drugs, and spends the most per capita, the amount of money we spend on healthcare of all the countries in the world. Yes. The Americans healthier. Well, we spend that much money. We got to be healthier. Do we have better health care? Let's find out. Do we live longer? The answer to each question is an unequivocal and emphatic no. How sad. That's why I'm having today's show. And remember, I've been a doctor for decades, and I'm still teaching it today. I go to different cities and teach it. So Americans have the worst health outcomes of any country in the 37 richest countries. We are number one in diabetes. That's really my passion in life, to prevent and reverse diabetes. That's what I'm most passionate about. Number two in Alzheimer's disease, memory loss, and number five in cancer. Yeah. Number six in cardiovascular disease and strokes. The U.S. is the sickest of the 37 countries. Yes. We have the most expensive drugs, double the price that people pay in Europe. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Insulin, for example, people are spending a fortune. Plus the most expensive doctors. We spend the most on hospitals. What do we get for it? Well, let's find out. We ought to hold them accountable, right? The more money we spend, the worse it gets. Yes. Now, another hospital system is moving into town. I've been to every one of the heads of these hospitals to help prevent diabetes, but they were not interested. Wonder why? Maybe it's the money, huh? Maybe it's the money. The worse it gets, we haven't addressed the problem at all. In 1970, we got off the rails and we have not identified the problem. There's still no magic pill, is what they're looking for. When metabolic syndrome came along, our diet changed. Processed food was born, because selling processed food is where the money is. The fast food restaurants. Companies were making lots of money, and the nation became sick because of it. Diabetes rates increased tremendously, as well as its diseases that it causes. About 30 to 40 diseases that cause diabetes. That's why I'm so interested in preventing and stopping the disease, because if you took us 30 or 4 most common diseases and they would have fallen off the rack, we'd have to pay for very little and we'd be healthy and happy. And it affects the children now. Yes. Children are growing horizontally now. Modern medicine is not the solution, but it is the problem. But the cause is that the processed food, and it needs to be addressed. Children are getting adult diseases. Yes, and it's getting worse and worse. Modern medicines treat symptoms, but not disease. If you get rid of the disease, they wouldn't have the symptoms and we wouldn't have to pay for it. We have many nutritional know-nothings. Nothing is more important than nutrition, yet nothing in medicine generates more heat than light. Industry controls most of it. Industry is controlling this whole system. They're making lots of money, but people are unhealthy, dying younger and sick. Dietitians lost their mind. Dentists used to learn nutrition at school. Yes. Now that stopped because they make less money because of it. Western Price went around the world in the 1930s, 40s, and asked people of different nations just to show them their teeth, just to smile. and took pictures of it and realized that the patients with a good smile in countries were eating natural food. And he wrote a great book about it, which I encourage you to read. The good news is that over 95% of chronic diseases can be reversed by just removing processed food and substituting real food, unaltered, unprocessed food. There's a reason that drugs don't work for metabolic syndrome. Our drugs don't turn them on. None of the underlying causes are responsive to our current drugs. The drugs don't do the healing good food does. Yes. Treating the symptoms does not treat the problem. Treating the symptoms instead of preventing the symptoms. Real food gets to where it needs to be, inside the cell. The food needs to get to be inside the cell. Remember that we have trillions of cells in our body. Processed food gets in and poisons those pathways. Instead, real food is the treatment, while bad food is the poison. Sugar is the main component. And that's pretty well known across the world, but better known in England by Dr. David Unwin and his wife, Jen, who go around the world teaching people how to eat properly. They both had diabetes, but it's gone. Yeah, just go to YouTube, David Unwin, Jen Unwin, and you will gather a lot of information. They also wrote a book called Fork in the Road. Very small, easy to read. You can read in 2 days. And they have great YouTube shows. I want you to look at David and Jen Unwin's. Processed food is the primary driver of chronic disease. Just go to a fast food place and it's processed food. 9 diseases total about 75% of the healthcare burden in the U.S. 60% globally. Processed food is behind them all. Sugar makes them worse. Sugar is the biggest problem. We are addicting even our babies on sugar, and we need to change that and teach it differently. Changes in food composition, and instead of worrying about quantity, we need to think about the quality of the food that we are consuming. The next thing I'm going to tell you is very important, and you might want to write this down. Virta Health, VIRTA, is a company available virtually. You can talk to them just by dialing a number, and they'll even look at you. It does that daily. They reverse diabetes in 80% of their patients. If you're diabetic and you don't want to read these books and other ones I'll be speaking about, you can dial a phone number, Virta Health. They'll charge you, but they don't charge very much. They stop insulin. You will not have to take it anymore in 94% of their patients. They reverse diabetes in 80% of their patients. You want to continue with all those diseases diabetes causes, or do you want to get rid of it? Get rid of it. Get rid of it. So I recommend them highly, okay? Sugar and starches are the drivers because of their effect on the mitochondria, the energy factories that we have in every cell. Processed food with their coverings removed, is the problem. Remember, we spoke about processed food. Processed food increases heart attack risk, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, and is affecting at least 40% of the U.S. adults, but I think it is much higher than that. I suspect 70-80% of the people that live in our community and many other communities, I've looked at their internet sites, yes, that's the high rate. Processed food and sugary drinks are the main cause of fatty liver. Fat in the liver causes tremendous metabolic changes. The primary cause of dental disease is sugar. It is sugar. Look it up and read it. Yes. Sugar consumption is, and it's huge when you see all these dental places advertising that they want to pull out and replace your teeth. Can be avoided 99% of the time. Just brushing your teeth a couple of times a day, although highly recommended, I do it.
Yeah.
You notice I have most of my teeth. So cancer is the emperor of all disease. Yes, so is heart disease and diabetes. Cancer loves sugar. It's a sugar eater. You don't want to get cancer? Avoid sugar. Cancer cells metabolize 13 times much more sugar than a healthy cell.
Mm-hmm.
And I already mentioned to you what processed food is. So nutrition is the most important and malleable factor influencing people's lifespan.
Mm.
What are you eating? You might say, well, I want to keep my diabetes. I respect diabetes. I just take my pills. You may live a little bit longer, but you will not have a normal lifespan, and you will have many disabilities. Your genes account maybe 20-30%, but the environment, including a bad diet, can easily overcome those gifts. I mean, genes sometimes will produce some disease, but a proper lifestyle will overcome the power of your genes. It's interesting. The U.S. has been reduced life expectancy 4 years in a row. Processed food may be winning. Just to take a minute and tell you about myself. I'm 89 years old, no disease, take only one pill, vitamin M. What's vitamin M, people say? Music. I wake up to music in the morning to get my endorphins flowing, so I feel good. What's my weight? You won't believe this. 125 pounds this morning.
Mm-hmm.
And you say, well, it's your genes, Rudy. Well, I actually have learned a lot about nutrition. I eat 2 meals a day. I don't eat breakfast. I go play pickleball, done at 11, and then I eat. So I eat 2 meals a day. body secretes about 5 hormones in the morning. It keeps our blood sugar like this. Breakfast is not the most important meal of the day. It's an invention of industry to make money. Yes. So Michael Pollan has made the point that nutrition is a religion because it requires believing without seeing. Interesting. Nutrition must be all about what's in the food. What's in the food? Who decides what's healthy for whom? 88% have some form of metabolic disease. 88% of the people, yes, have metabolic disease. And I can give you a whole list of diseases that people get with metabolic disease. American Heart Association said saturated fat is bad. It's bad when in reality, if you're eating omega-3 good fats, it's good for you, okay? We got cheese and chocolate milk instead, and we're told that they're healthy, but they are not healthy. Milk has so many allergies, and some people die suddenly from a autoimmune reaction. The American Diabetes Association pushed whole grains, so we pushed whole grain bread on the public. Bread is sugar. Bread is sugar. Rice, white rice, is processed rice. Real rice is brown rice, but it still has a high glycemic index. So all rice, you want to eat sugar, eat rice. Nutrition is the most important and malleable factor influencing people's lifespan. We have mentioned that already. Nutrition and dietetics told people eggs had cholesterol in them. Eggs are good for you. They were lying about it. So people ate oatmeal instead, a sugary product. It may be not what's in the food, but what's done to it. Okay? The biggest organ players, the liver. Look at my YouTube show on liver, 1 hour long, to learn this in detail because it has good news attached to it. The good news is that if the liver damage is less than 75%, okay, with proper nutrition, the liver will completely repair itself. What wonderful news. You'll learn that more in detail in my 1 hour YouTube show, YouTube Kachmann with a K. Very important because the liver can totally return to normal. So if you're a diabetic watching this show or some advanced disease and you have extreme fatty liver, you can get rid of all that, have a normal liver within a month or two by switching to a better way of eating. So liver disease, my YouTube show explains the miracle of our liver in detail. So the liver protects your gut. Feed your gut with healthy, non-processed food. Remember, we spoke about processing. If you don't feed your microbiome, those bacteria, the trillions that live in your gut, your microbiome will feed on you. A bad microbiome, trillions of live bacteria and viruses, will literally chew up the mucin layer that protects your one cell layer thick gut. Your gut is 1 cell layer thick. It has mucin over it, but if you eat the wrong food, you'll punch a hole in your gut, and what you're eating will go directly into the bloodstream. Not a healthy thing to happen. And so high fiber diet is the answer. Intact fiber found in real food has many benefits, but the processed food industry takes the germ of the grain and is removed, as well as the fiber, protecting the liver, means keeping the germ factor intact, protect the liver, and feed the gut. Okay, processed food is high sugar, low fiber, and does not protect your gut. It's unhealthy for you. Children and adolescents, what are they eating? Processed food. They go to the fast food restaurant. Lucky Charms are magically delicious. Yellow stars, orange moons, pink hearts. Why are marshmallows in the box? Because kids love them. Maybe because they're processed foods full of sugar and bad fats. Children are growing horizontally. They're getting much bigger, even starting at a very young age. The only thing that changed faster than their waistlines was their diets, what children are eating. Bananas were replaced as a snack by Gatorade, by Go-Gurt, granola bars. Breakfast is a dangerous meal. I don't eat it. I told you that story already. It's not needed. Industry promoted it on us. Most nutrition experts consider it the most important meal of the day. Actually, it's a holdover from the Seventh-day Adventists. Read the story of Kellogg, and they're the ones who recommended it. Our body secretes 5 hormones in the morning, and it keeps the blood sugar stable. I don't eat breakfast. I mentioned that already. I feel fine. Feel great. Don't even feel like eating my lunch around 11 because I feel so good for my endorphins being stimulated by playing pickleball. Breakfast foods are leveraged at children. They're 1 gram of sugar in a serving of Raisin Bran. Sadly, we're giving children a sugar load of processed food, half of their daily intake in the morning. Only food is a dessert if any form of sugar is one of the first 3 ingredients. Trader Joe's beef and broccoli, 32 grams of sugar. Let's face it, it's a dessert. You might as well have a sugary drink. Chinese chicken salad is a dessert. Our kids are eating desserts all day long. Look around. Look around. Order a serum insulin blood test. You will have the proof. Processed food with sugar as the main ingredient is the problem. Kids drink milk at school with every meal. Look at the internet. Look at New York. Look at Chicago. I checked New York recently. Every meal has milk with it and processed food. And it's free. We're creating a disease state for the whole city. Look at yourself. Milk at every meal, 3 times a day, free. We took the fat out. added sugar, processed it to make it more tasteful. Do we need milk? Drinking milk supports the dairy farmer, not your kids. Baby cows are injected as soon as they're born. Cows are injected with the growth hormone to make them grow faster, that they can produce more milk, and they can make more money. Then you give the milk to your kids with all these hormones and other hormones that are injected into them, and to increase milk production. Even more than we ask kids to drink it, milk causes a lot of allergic reactions. I spoke to a yoga instructor that was teaching me yoga, and our kids were sick all the time. And I took a little bit of a history, and I had read some of these books, and I realized that her children were having allergic reaction to milk. Yes, very common. And then they can have an autoimmune reaction, and some people who drink milk will die like that. It happens. It happens occasionally. Have an anaphylactic reaction resulting in some deaths. Milk is processed food, and especially kids should not be drinking it. Lunch for kids at school is no better. Schools want to serve food that students actually want to eat. They say it doesn't do any good to serve nutritious meals if they wind up in the trash can. What I say to that is, what they need to do is teach good food starting in kindergarten, very early, maybe even before that. The National School Lunch Program called pizza a vegetable.
Mm-hmm.
So they would eat something. And hash browns, they call it a fruit to encourage the kids to eat. But the kids are getting sick. They're going to die young. They're going to have diabetes. The brain is the biggest user of energy, 21%, okay? But it weighs only 3 pounds. Processed food impacts children's brain. Teachers know once the sugar flows, the teaching stops. They don't cooperate anymore. They feel so good that they're bouncing off the walls. Sugary drinks are linked to behavioral problems. There are 3 main impacts on children's brain. Number 1 is behavior. Okay, give me a normal weight kid a cookie, and he bounces off the wall. You gave him processed food, a sugar high. The cookie stimulated insulin release, which stimulated leptin, which reached the hypothalamus at the bottom of your brain, which activated the sympathetic nervous system, which led to increased muscle activity. And he's looking more for another cookie. He's leptin resistant. There is no such thing as a sugar high. Number 2, the cognition is affected. More and more children are developing metabolic syndrome. Adolescents with the metabolic syndrome demonstrate cognitive decline. Get memory loss. Their brain has not been fully developed. And greater impulsivity. Thirdly, processed food affects their affect. Difficulty. Sugar fries kids' liver and brain, just like alcohol. So giving sugar to a child is like giving them alcohol. When consumed chronically and in high doses, alcohol is toxic. Alcohol provides no nutrition. people get addicted to fast food quickly. Clearly access, especially in children, because it's toxic and abused. Alcohol and sugar. Fructose is metabolized in the liver, just like alcohol. Consumed chronically, it's like drinking alcohol. It's a minefield out there. Our fast food industry has placed undue stress on our kids. Processed food is killing our children. Baby brains have different metabolic needs than adults. They have a rapidly growing brain. A newborn has a brain 33% of the size of adults, yet it is increasing about 1% a day. Yes. By 3 months of age, the brain is 55% fat. The brain needs omega-3 fats. Those are the good fats. They must get it from their mother's milk, not processed milk. Mother's milk, as the flavors, EPA and DHA, they have more flexibility. They bend. Omega-3 fats, they bend differently in different directions. They can be included in neuronal cells. So where all the omega-3s, one from breast milk, is full of them. So clearly it's the best milk. In the absence of real food, remember, not processed food, obstetricians recommend supplements, processed food, which is a processed food. Sugar rots kids' teeth. Remember, we mentioned this before. When Vincent Price went around the world, they had people show them their teeth, and they found that good teeth are related to unprocessed good food. Sugar rots kids' teeth. It rots babies' teeth. In early childhood, caries in infants and toddlers are rampant. Wonder why I have good teeth. Brushing twice a day, and I don't eat sugary foods. I think it's worked, and I'm 89, and I want to pick a ball with you when I'm 100. I think I've covered this subject good enough in this time. Maybe for us to celebrate the Christmas spirit a little bit here. So I was going through my closet the other day, and I found a song I'd written years ago, and it's Christmas time. So let's go through it. Tap, 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 with me around the Christmas tree. Tap, 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 I got your back. I'm the man with the sack and the knack to bring you what you lack for Christmas. Snowflakes are in my eye because I'm flying high in the sky on my way to your house. Santa is coming to town. The reindeer are pulling the sleigh your way. All I want for Christmas is snow and to tap with Santa. Christmas time is here. Hope you're near. The angels are singing, here comes Santa Claus. and Mommy grabs a kiss. Look, Rudy, the red-nosed reindeer is near. The soles of your feet pound to the beat in rhythm. Toe heel, front, back, crossover, shuffle, paddle, and roll. Christmas is near, and so are the reindeer. It's a season to be jolly. I believe. My heart is full of joy. The angel is singing, and Santa and me are tapping around the Christmas tree. But we had to, enjoy this year a little bit more. I'm glad we got this in, and I brought this. So today, we spoke a great deal about processed food, and the book by Dr. Robert Lustig. And I gave you the definition of processed food, that you know what it is that has been altered. And today, when we look at our family, have a look and see how much processed food are you eating. And my main mission at this tender age really has been, and has been for a long time, is preventing and reversing type 2 diabetes, which you could do in about 3-4 weeks, yes, if you start eating the right food. If you want to double the speed, like I mentioned before, skip breakfast. And if you eat a healthy 2 meals, one at noon, one around 5, 6, 7, your diabetes will be gone in 3 weeks. Wouldn't that be beautiful? I've done it many times. When I walk, I was living in Devil's Hollow, but now in Fort Wayne. Instead of retiring to Florida or someplace, I decided to move downtown, which I've done, because I'm closer here to God's place, the library. Thank you, Andrew Carnegie, who put libraries all over the world. Yeah, all over the world. And they do so much good for people who come here regularly, and it's all free. Andrew Carnegie said, there's a big sign in the library here, high on the ceiling. He said, everything in this library is free. Yes. So whether you get money or not is irrelevant. You can come here and do things free. And we are today with, we can even do TV shows, podcasts, radio shows. So my mission is to prevent, reverse diabetes, and eating processed food is a good way to get diabetes. Our children are now getting diabetes. A good thing to do, too, is to do some blood testing of your children. And you yourself, if you've never had it done. I tell you a very interesting thing is that serum insulins are elevated, listen very carefully, 10 to 15 years before the blood sugar ever goes up if you're eating the wrong food. And if you get tested for that and get your kids tested for that, the reason is while the insulin levels are elevated on your blood tests, changes are occurring in your body, and you may not have any symptoms, but that's why 50% of the heart attacks, people just grab their chest and they die.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. But the American Heart Association has done nothing about it. The hospitals do nothing about it because they're making lots of money. I've even offered to go to the medical school to teach what I'm teaching, and they never called back.
Mm-hmm.
Because they send their students to the hospitals to continue their training. And of course, the hospitals are telling them, not to get rid of diabetes. They do it subtly because that's where they make their money. If people were not getting diabetes, some of the hospitals probably would need to close down.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And they maybe would become interested also in teaching prevention, which they're not, because I've been to every one of them. Okay. And another thing that affects people a great deal is stress. We're all stressed. Even myself get stressed here and there, okay? But we need to be teaching people how to relieve stress by teaching people how to release their endorphins. That's a very interesting story about endorphins. And you can go to Look Good, Disease Free, a podcast of mine. You can Look Good, Disease Free, a podcast. You can see it on there, summarized. But you can also go to YouTube, Kachmann, endorphins, and get a 1-hour show on them. Endorphins are made even by our body. How do you release endorphins to feel good so you won't just grab for the sugar to feel good? You can turn in every one of our cells in our body, even our animals, have endorphins in them. When you take your cat or dog and you pet them and you feel so much better, you know who else feels better? The animal. Yes. Animals have in them everything in nature, down to 2 or 3 cells, creatures make endorphins. How did they know that? Because they have found when they invented the electron microscope, Candace Pert, P-E-R-T, she's written some books too, some YouTube shows, good things to watch, is that endorphins make you feel good. Like in the morning, I will say, Alexa, play Rudy's playlist. Why that? Because, and then I have some pictures on the wall, and I look at them, and I feel better right in the morning. I'm starting to feel great in the morning. I might even sing a song that releases your endorphins. Just a smile will release endorphins. Wrinkle your forehead, that will release endorphins. So to learn about endorphins, I think, is very important because you will not be grabbing for the sugar to feel good, or maybe a cigarette, or maybe some alcohol to feel good. Learn to feel good by releasing your own endorphins. Can be done by exercise, looking at the sun. You can hug a tree. You can walk in nature. we are indeed related to nature, and they will release endorphins. Just a walk through the woods will release endorphins, and you will not reach for the sugar or the bad fats to try to make yourself feel good. So you won't be driving to work and stop and make at some of these fast food places. I won't name them. You know who they are, and buy the processed food, which based on grains that have the coverings removed and release the sugar real quick, or the omega-6s, the bad fats instead of the good fats. So learn about endorphins. I think that's a big thing. Endorphins, you know what the other name for endorphins is? It even fascinated me. The other name for endorphins is morphine. Yes. We ourselves secrete endorphins. We ourselves make lots of morphine. So if you learn how to stimulate them by smiling, laughing, wiggling your forehead, singing, hugging your animals, hugging your loved one, and you release endorphins, and you will feel better and less likely to grab for food that is not good for you. So today's show in summary really was about processed food given to children that you could be eating is what causes chronic disease in us, and that can be avoided. But you must eat food not processed. And when Weston Price went around, looked at the teeth of the people in the 30s and 40s, he found that people who ate food from nature, unprocessed, it almost didn't matter what food it was, unprocessed food, they had normal dental development, and they were healthy, they were happy, smiling people. So to be healthy is not the quantity of the food, it's the quality of the food that you're eating. So you must learn, and you can read some of these books. You can get them in the library and borrow them or buy them. Remember what I mentioned about going to Amazon, and then not every book, but most books that you can get a used copy. There's one which I particularly like, Simply Keto, and you can go onto YouTube, Kachmann Keto, and watch a whole show on that for free, which is a good way to do it, because it will teach you about what good and bad fats are, and there are books that describe that in great detail. Simply Keto is a very good book to get and to read by Susan Ryan. I particularly like that book. That's a book I try to get a used copy. You can get a used copy for $3-4. I think you can afford that. And what she does the first 70 pages, Susan Ryan, is that as she describes what keto is, and then the rest is recipes throughout with pictures. And she tells you the amount of carbohydrate and fats, protein that are in each one, and a picture of the food she recommends. And with hers is 3 meals a day. Remember I said you want to speed up the rate to get rid of the disease, eat 2 meals a day. But 3 is fine. And she also has YouTube shows. I would look at those. So the YouTube shows I would like you to look at would be mine, probably 1,000 I got out there. You can see diabetes, and they come up. You can see exercise, and they will come up. But I like you to look at Susan Ryan's YouTube shows, because she also speaks about the psychology of eating, and the ones for more detailed information. Fork in the Road, Fork in the Road, by Dr. David and Jen Unwin. That would be an excellent book to read. They're from England, but I'm telling you, they are the world's experts. Those two who used to both had diabetes got rid of it. There's pictures of them there. They're saving the British healthcare system a tremendous amount of money because they give that information to the socialistic system, and they travel regularly to 22 countries. Yes, they are the world's expert. What they're teaching is correct, and he is now teaching what I was speaking about, but also going into keto, and he mentions that. So I think you've learned a lot today, and take advantage of the other things I recommend, and get some of these books cheap, and especially if you just Fork in the Road by David Unwin, very small book. It has other websites in the back that you will not get through it all. About 6 pages of websites for additional information that they recommend. But anyway, thanks for watching this show. A lot of information today, but I want you to be healthy so that I can tap dance or give you a hug in the future. And don't forget, I want to play pickleball with you when I'm in 100. And maybe I did this show today because I love you and care about you. Bye-bye.